Hello. I don't know about you, but this time of year makes me think about vacation, which is why I'm wearing my vacation clothes. Do you like taking trips? Do you like planning trips? If you do, I've got the game for you. Hi, I'm Jenny, and this is Blue and Red Meeple Board Games. And today I'm going to talk about Globetrotting, a game all about planning trips all around the world. Just to start, this is the game box, and as you can see, it's pretty cool. This is one that I like to display. It's not on the shelf, although it does fit into a Kallax cube. I keep it on top just because, it looks like this cool little travel box. And it comes with these wonderful dry erase globes. There are 4 of them. It's a 1-to-4 player game. There are 4 of them. 2 of them fit in the box when they're assembled, so I keep the other 2 on display on top of the shelf with the box. One of the negative things about the game was assembling these globes. I will say it was a real pain, and maybe it was just me, probably was just me, but I had a really hard time getting even the first one together. I almost gave up and didn't do the rest, but I knew I couldn't do that. So I did get them all together. They all fit in the box if they are disassembled, but just because of how much trouble I had putting them together, I'll never take them apart. So I keep 2 on display, and then I've got 2 in the box. So that's one of the negatives about the game. It's a great game, but assembling these, for me, was really difficult. It comes in 2 pieces, and then you put in the paper globes. I believe they were in 2 pieces as well. And then it was just managing to fit these together. And again, could just be me, but that was a little bit difficult. This was a Kickstarter game. I think I've had it almost a year. I don't remember. It came either late last spring, possibly in the summer. These are cardboard. I could have deluxeified and got them in wood, but I decided it wasn't worth it, and I think these work just fine. But they do sit in here and they spin nice and easy like that. All right, so now we'll get to the game. All right, so I kept this in here, just kind of keeps things in place. And you can see it's not the greatest storage. It came with a decent plastic insert, but I took that out just to get everything to fit in there once I had everything apart. So there are the 2 extra globes, which we'll set aside. And then the cardboard stands, which we assemble. I don't need those right now. I will say the instruction rule book, it's really nice. It has a lot of pictures. It tells you how to assemble everything, and it really tells you what everything is, what it does. So it's a really nice rule book. It's easy to read, and there isn't a lot of instruction. So that's very nice. It does, no, not. So these are dry erase. And normally for like roll and rides, other games that I have where you use dry erase, I just cut up pieces of felt. They don't work for this. So I don't know why I even still have them in here. So I'm just going to pitch them because I found that the thing that easiest takes the marker off is just a regular old paper towel. So that is that. So as I said, it's a 1-to-4 player game. Everyone gets their own little passport, whichever color you choose. Normally I always choose blue. I am the blue meeple, but that's a normal, boring old, American passport. So I kind of like to be different. So this time we'll go with green. There are also destination cards. Those out. Bucket list cards. So sort of the idea behind the game is that you're fed up with work, you quit your job, and now you're going to check off the bucket list all the trips that you wanted to take. So these are the bucket list cards, and there's one for each of the 3 seasons that you plan trips for in this game, spring, summer, and fall. And there's some other little things for different ways to score. It comes with dry erase markers. All right, so a little quick talk about the setup. Let's put a nice little box here. So if you're going to play with 1 or 2 players, you're going to set out these tokens for each of the seasons. So you'd have green for spring, and they have these little symbols. That one looks kind of like almost like a little clover. Summer has the sun, and then fall has a leaf. So you put these out on the table. Yeah, just so that you can see them. And what you'll do, you'll mark you can choose on, you'll select what destination you want to start your spring, summer, and fall, and you'll write that symbol on your globe. So when you're starting each of those legs of the race, that's where you'll start from, or each leg of it kind of is a race, but not really. You'll play over 9 rounds, so you'll plan 3 trips for each season. It doesn't matter what order you do them in, and you don't have to do all of one season at once. You could do one from the summer, one from the fall, and then go to the summer, and then spring. So however you want to complete those is perfectly up to you. So the destination cards have all these different cities on them. And one thing that I think is really cool as a board gamer, a whole bunch of the cities in here are cities that have games named after them. So these are just some of them, Jaipur, you got Santorini, a bunch more, Isle of Skye, Istanbul. So you can see it just goes on. And then there are, a bunch of other locations all around the world. So you'll start the game by just randomly selecting for each city, so whatever. We'll say spring will be Alhambra. We'll do Chicago for the summer. And we'll pick Rio de Janeiro for the fall. And then we put the stack over here. There will also be these goal cards that are for the group. I'll just take one out so you can see it. And basically the first person to complete whatever the goal is will get the 6 points, and then anyone after that will get 4 points. And then if 2 people did happen to meet the goal, at the same time, the first goal, they would both get the 6. That's shared. Otherwise, one person will get the higher, and everyone else will get the lower points. For this one, it's 4 destinations in the Eastern Hemisphere and 4 in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, so that's the common goal. Then everyone will also have these bucket list goals. They'll get 1 for each season if you're playing in the basic mode. There are other ways to play it to increase the difficulty. So if you have played, several times and you're an experienced player, you can add more cards. And then what you do is you draft them. So you pick one, you pass them, you do that until they're gone. So then you'll have more of these goals that you're going to be trying to meet and get points for throughout the game. But for just the basic game, everyone will get 1 for each season. So just as an example, this one is Lodge in a Tropical Bungalow, and this one is worth 2 points. And they range anywhere from 1 to 5 points. So a tropical bungalow, you can see here, it's really nice. They show you the symbol. It's an umbrella, pink and white umbrella. So if you can see on the globe right here, there's a symbol with a pink and white bungalow. So you want to have at least one of those as a destination. As an example, this one is end your fall trip in a historic destination. So there are other symbols. It's this yellow, kind of looks like a monument. That would be a historic destination. And then we also have urban areas. So like Chicago would be one of these symbols that has a skyscraper. And then what are the green? There are also resort. So there's resort, urban. Yeah, and so then you've got the areas with the trees as well, and those can score you points too. So just depending, like for this one, you're going to want to have a destination in one of each of those different areas. That's just an example of some of those scoring things. So this is a group public goal. Your bucket list goals you'll keep private. So you just, basically as you do those, you could put them to the side or whatever to know, so that you know that you've completed them. Another way to score is you're going to try to plan the cheapest trip that you can. So you can see the ring has this starting part with the arrow, and then it goes from 1 to 5, right? So that determines the cost. So as you're traveling from one destination to another, you're going to line it up with your globe, and that'll determine how many dollars it costs. So if you go from somewhere that's from here to here, it'll cost 3. So for your first trip, you would write a 3 here. So by the end, you're going to have all of these filled in, and then you'll add up the total cost of your trip, And then you get a bonus. So it's you get 2 points per player that spent more than you. So that's an incentive to spend less. So potentially, if there were 4 people playing and you spent the least on your trip, you'd get an extra 6 points. Scoring also, you get points for the group goals. And then this is for your bucket list. And then there's one other way to score points. And this depends on the number of players. So for the 1 to 2 player game, you'll use this side of the boards. And for 3+, you're going to use this side of the board. So for the 1 to 2 player, this sort of incentivizes you to choose the destination and season that are down here. So since we've got Alhambra here for spring, if you went to Alhambra in the spring, you get to mark down a point for that. And then once everyone has chosen from here, they're going to constantly be changing. So then for the next trip, if you chose the Serengeti for another spring trip, you could mark a 1 there. Or if I went to Chicago in the summer. So it's just another way that you can get points. But again, you do not have to do that. You can choose for any season. This is just extra points. And then if you were playing with 3 or 4 players, instead of that, you'd have one of these between each player. And anytime you and one of the people next to you chose the same destination in the same season, you'd each get a point for that. So you can see you can do that once for each of the seasons on each side of you. So potentially, it could give you 6 points, but it's probably going to be pretty rare that happens. But that's just another way to get points. So basically, I'll show you how it works real quick here. Let me get a marker out. Everyone will have your marker. This is not what I've used. All right, so I'm going to mark. So you have to start with one of the ones that's out in the beginning. So I'm going to mark. It's really nice too. They give you coordinates too. So E2, it says E2 on the top of this card. There are numbers on the top of the globe. So I can look for E2. So there's Alhambra. It's at E2 right here. And it does have one of these historic destinations on it. So I'm going to mark my little clover-looking thing right there on my globe. All right, so I've chosen that. And I'm just going to put down another card here. We'll say I decide I'm going to go, let's see, let's look at what I've got on the board. We've got Chicago, so I kind of want to look at the cost. Oh, that would be, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up Alhambra here, and I can see Chicago is here. So that would be 3. How about the Serengeti? That would mean going over here. That is going to cost me. So, okay, we'll say I'm going to go to Chicago from Alhambra. I don't know. It's not where I would choose, but so then I'm just going to line it up. Let's see. So I've got Alhambra, Chicago. So then you use this to line up to draw a line to the city. And that was, 3 points. So I would write a 3 down for my first trip. And you're just going to keep doing that, connecting. So I have 2 more. So I have 3 for spring, 3 for summer, 3 for fall. So then I'll connect this to 2 other places. And once everyone has done all of their trips, you add up your score. It's once you've played it, it's a pretty quick game, and it is. I will say it is fun because you kind of do feel like you're planning trips, and you're not always going to want to. Sometimes there's just a city here, and I'm like, oh, I don't care what it costs. I just want to go to that place just because that's a cool place, or that's a city that I love. I've been there before. I want to go there. Anyway, that is Globetrotting, sorry, in a nutshell. It's definitely a unique game. I don't have any other games where I'm planning trips, and it is fun. It's 1 to 4 players. It says it takes about 30 minutes, and it's for ages 14 plus. I think you could probably play it a little younger than that. I mean, you could definitely simplify it for younger kids. they might need a little bit of help with manipulating, so they can get that line. But yeah, it's a fun game. I would definitely recommend checking it out if you enjoy travel or travel themed things. It's definitely not a game to bring with you to travel. So don't, so I'm not saying it's a travel game. It's a travel themed game. Globetrotting. I recommend checking it out. It is available to purchase retail. So if you don't already have it or you haven't heard of it, check out the reviews, and I hope that you get a chance to play it. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Goodbye.